Hello friends, hope you all are fine. Here I am coming with a new video tutorial which is Spring Boot API and Angular 10 CRUD operations. So here in this video tutorial we will see the 5 steps in which we will learn the things. So the first step is for the backend application, which is in Spring Boot application, which is an API for the front-end application. And the second step we will learn front-end application, which is Angular 10. And then we will learn third step, the proxy configuration, which is JSON file. Is very important thing for between communication at the same origin, like in same or local host with the Angular and Spring Boot application. And the final, like not final but is the fourth, that we can see the demo application, how we can delete record or create record or read the records. So in the final we will see the source code from where we can get the source code for the Angular and Spring Boot application. So let's go. This is Spring Boot application. We will see what the main things in it with the quick way, which is very important for us. Like we will see in the resources first. This is here the data SQL. I have put here for the very first record for the application. It's very initial level at startup time of API. Then with this entry must be inserted in the database, and then here some database name and the password user. So for the configuration with the database, it's very quick introduction for it. And then we will go here the configuration, very important for the Angular application which you are running with the Spring Boot application. Like whenever your application is communicating with another server, then it's very important the header plays very important role between the two application for the front end and the back end level, which is like the course is always the very very defined terminology for us, like access control, allow origin. It always the browser gives this error at the very many situations which do not allow to the access the content with the different origins, So here it is very important for this one, like I'm adding the mapping like pattern, which is pattern for all the requests. Like I'm here giving the 3 methods, HTTP method, first for the get, and second for the post, and third for the delete methods. So whenever the head coming from the Angular application with the same with the different origin, then I'm allowing it to perform the operation, which is which is get or post or delete method. So here we are going to user controller. In user controller is very simple controller. I have made it for the quick application API the perspective. Now here the find all, find by ID, add the method for adding the record, and then here the delete method for deleting the record. So all are here the methods. Then we will go to the model. Here is a very simple model like name, which has a property of the name, ID, and the address, gender, and age. Then repository, we know that the repository is the usage is very important for the interacting with the database, the layer here. So this is very small and simple project which is API. Then now we will go to the second step, which is Angular API, Angular front end, sorry. So here the Angular front end. Now in Angular we will see the things. The firstly we will go the project source code. Here the home, which is component. I have made only one component for just showing the data on it and adding the operation, like performing any operation like adding the record, deleting the record or reading the record and updating also the record. So here we will see that what I am doing in it. Very important, the first we are going to the front end, like simple HTML. In simple HTML I have made one form, and one form have the many controls, like here the first is the here we can see ID and name and age, here gender, address, and the button for the save. Okay, these are like the form controllers we have here. The very first thing is the div for just form, and another thing is the table. In this table I have to show the record with these properties, and here in the last two buttons I have put one for the edit. Whenever I press this button, then all the data should be filled in this form, which what can I say, that in the record I'm hitting, and that record should be filled in the form. And here the delete, I delete on which record I'm going to delete it. Here two are the methods, like edit the data and delete user by the ID. So in edit data method I'm passing the whole object of the record. Here if I go to the here component, here, so in component you can see there the edit record. Like first I'm finish it this description, like this is doing and what is the delete method is doing. In here the editing, like edit, I am getting the record here, the whole record, then I'm filling into the form. Simple. Then if form is filled, now further I have to submit or save the record. Then another the operation, like here the second one is the delete by the user ID, and then delete by the user ID. Then I'm getting the just ID and passing this ID to the another method which is inside the service. So I'm going to the open the service, the home service. In home service we see the URLs, very different URLs. These URL of Spring Boot API. So we can see the port 8080 here, the for getting the all the users and adding the new user and deleting the user. And these URL are used here, the three different methods. One for getting the all user, and this is the URL for getting all user, and here the saving method, and here I have used the another one URL for saving or update a user, and in the third one is the delete. It is also used here in this method. So when these methods are used, like if I am talking about in the very init method, here it's always it run it, then it's always I'm initializing the form first with the form control, and then I'm filling the data into the table, like refreshing the data. And data refreshing, here the method is calling, and get another method in the home service, get all users is calling and saying getting the data into the data object. Here it's very simple, and we can see that how we are getting the record from the this service. Here we can see it hitting the getting all this users. Then we are hitting the get method, like HTTP get method. Whenever get method is hitted, and then the data comes in the response, and then this method return that response to the caller method here into the controller. The caller method get is also subscribed, then the response get here any type of response. It's very JSON response. I'm just filling this response to the very global method, the data here, which is also used into the HTML here. In the view we can see the here the data variable, which I'm using the for each loop, and each atom is iterated by the properties. So here going again to the component, and the another method is edited. I already describe it and define it. Now another delete also define it. Now and the last submit the button for saving the data. Like in submit button, I'm just checking the first time the form is valid or not. Means if some field are required, then it has a value or not, or any other type of the validation I am checking here. If the form is valid, then come inside it and then save. The form is sent to the this method, like the save user. And now if we are going to this save method, like we can see the what is coding inside it. Now before going in it, we can see if the record is successfully saved, then refresh the data, like refresh the table again, which is already shown into the view. Then reset the form, like make it like reset the form means you can see the make all the fields empty. And then we are going to the this method, the user save user in the service. And save user, here the form data, which is the JavaScript, very common, the object of the JavaScript. When you are hitting the Ajax call or something, you can send this object to the server or API. So I'm making this the same object and getting the data from the form. Here the form is coming inside the method, because I'm sending the form here from the controller, the whole form itself. Then here if I get the whole form and controls from it, and each control has the value, has a key and the value. So each control has a key and the value. I'm appending into the form data, like key and the value of the that thing. Then if it has the value, like key has, like it has a value not empty or not undefined, then set inside it. If it is already like undefined or the empty value, I'm just putting itself like a hard coded value, which is not undefined, like undefined or empty value, just for my API purpose. So after that I'm hitting the just post call for saving the record, then returning it to the caller of the method. So now this is the part done, and the second step is done. So we will go to the third step, the for proxy config JSON, like how the front end and the backend communicate with each other, and the on the different origin, like because there are different IP address, or not IP address but the port at the 8080 and 4200 of the Angular. So as a very important thing, we can see here JSON package. This is also important. And then second one, the proxy.config. So we first go to the proxy. I have created this one, the new file. You must create this with this name of proxy.config.json. Then I have put this kind of code, like this is the object, and in object I have defined the API. It will do this thing for the proxy config API, and the targeting is the API server. So here the API server, the localhost :8080, which is my Spring Boot application, and here the secure is a false, because I'm not using HTTPS protocol here. And then the path rewrite, I have put this one because my all the URLs like do not have the API, like my URL do not have like this, the API and extension, then something here. No, I do not have such type of thing. Then we can see this that rewrite this one, the path, like here the API rewrite and make it just empty, like null, means no extension of the API, the URL. So if you have the API in your the URL, then you do not need to write this one. Then again this is the very important, like, and other thing, like in package I have used this ng server service, like serve. Then I am giving the configuration the variables, like, and then I'm passing this the file, this file also passing in it. And now very important thing, like if I'm using the starting, then I'm npm start is I'm always use, it will very short form for starting this the start here, this start here. So if I'm not just writing start this one like this not npm start, then I have to run this one directly by pasting like this directly. Then it is the same thing, ng serve start with the file something like the configuration parameters and then the file itself. So it's very not good thing, like if I do not like this one, the very long the command, so I just like npm because I have already added there. And then npm start, then it will start the server, and I have to start also the spring boot application here. So I'm starting here so that we can go to the fourth step for the demo application. Now application spring boot application is started, and we can see the another the angular is also started. So now we are going to step 4, which is the demo application. Localhost, then the port is like 4200 port. Here we can see the very simple application, and it's a demo. I have seen the already record is there because I told you all like whenever the Spring application is starting, the first record is inserted by the default. So first record already there. For the first step, now I am going to add the another record, like I'm using like adding the Muhammad, and then the age like 13, and gender any like male, and address A B C or D or something like this. I'm adding here the record, then it is added, and here the second line Muhammad. Now if I'm going to edit it like the second record, then edit it first, then if I just paste this, it's also like auto filled in it in the form. Here we can see the Muhammad, like I'm going to update it Muhammad Sadiq, then I'm putting here Muhammad Sadiq, just Muhammad Sadiq, then updating the age also, and the address also. Okay, then I'm just updating the age, and name also is the updated here. Then if I'm going to delete it, then I have already given the button here, just delete it, then it is deleted here. Then you can feel refresh also, it is deleted. The most and the very important thing that all the whenever you are performing any application the task, the page is not refreshing in the Angular. It's a single page application. We can see that like in above you can see whenever I'm hitting the page is not refreshed, just the component is refreshed here. So this is the demo application. The fourth step. In the fifth step, we can see the source code. Like if you need this source code of the Spring Boot application and Angular application, you can find it the source code from me. Like here I have already put it on the GitHub, and my username is Sadiq Odo, and you can find this URL for the application. In this URL you can see I have given the description for my project, and what is the environment prerequisites, and what is the setup actually, how can you set up. And for the Windows you can run it directly if you are not using your IDE. Then if you are using the Mac operating system or Linux, there is another command for running it, and the dependencies, what the dependencies are used in this project, and the API. These are the dependencies like the Spring Web and the Data JPA and MySQL connector driver. And if we are talking about the URLs here, the RESTful HTTP requests, these are URL which are performed by the Angular application here. And where I have used, you can see here like in Angular we saw in it the services. Here in the services I have, these are the same URLs I have used from the Angular like in Spring Boot application. So these are the very important URLs. You can do your perform the operations. So another thing is that you can see the methods have the delete method, post method, and the HTTP get method for each purpose. And the very important, the last one, the important, the like course I have told you already, this API must have the access for the different origin, the content allowed for the different origin. Then I have used for different for these methods, and it we have already discussed it. And then finally, like we can see the Angular proxy configuration code. I have put it in the same username for the GitHub, and then we can see the URL for the Angular proxy config. And then you can see how what the description I have given, and the environment, what the prerequisites for this Angular application, and the setups, how to download the code or import the code into ID, and how to run it and install your dependencies in your the terminal. So this is the very the final thing. I hope you like my my tutorial, and you must I request you, not must, I request you to please subscribe my video my YouTube channel, so that for the new tutorials, and sorry for the late video this video, and like it and comment it please, and hope you will love it. Thank you, goodbye.